this has been an issue where there's just very little accountability with these young guys because they aren't just handed roster spots. They are handed spots in the starting lineup and they are handed minutes, and there's no repercussions whenever they don't play the game the right way. So if Jalen Green gives up on one play 3 times, there's no repercussion for that. If they refuse to get back on defense, which happens every single night, there's no repercussions for that. They have a film session and that's it, and those guys are given their spots again. There was a play they played San Antonio, I think it was last month, and Porter makes a layup. Great, he makes a layup, but he's now behind the play because he's under the rim. Spurs get the ball in quickly to Trey Jones, who's fast, but there are 4 Rockets who are in front of the basketball, and Trey Jones just drives right down the middle of the floor and gets an easy layup. Steven Silas calls timeout. What happens after that? The same 5 guys remain on the floor. Like, these are the little things where you don't have any accountability right now with this team. If it were me, if there were a lot of other coaches,
what would Jeff Van Gundy do?
You got to pull the 4 guys off the floor who were in front of the play. You just have to do that.
But man,
Is it empty? Yeah. Does it get you nowhere? Yeah, but it at least shows that there is some sort of a consequence to not playing the game the right way.
See, I hate this because I think Steven's becoming the fall guy, and I think it's very apparent that our rabbit, Rafael Stone, who has the rabbit ears, our rabbit is what I'll call him now. He is obviously like he befriends all these people online. And I'll just say it like this: like I like the way people cover the Rockets, but he has these gatherings and they're tweeting out on this thing. Hey, it's Twitter Day here in Houston, and I don't care. I think all these guys do a good job, but you're doing that and then you're befriending these guys, and it's just so easy and it's so telegraphed to see that all these guys are turning on Steven Silas and they're blaming Steven Silas for the culture, and the culture's been created by Rafael Stone. Okay, let's be honest. This guy's getting a free pass because Daryl Morey treated James Harden a certain way. And Daryl Morey treated James Harden a certain way because James Harden was effing great. James Harden was one of the best scorers of all time, and Daryl Morey treated James Harden a certain way. Rafael Stone now treats Kevin Porter that way. He lets Christian Wood show up late. Steven Silas can't do anything to Kevin Porter Jr., and he can't do anything to Christian Wood, and neither one of those guys can hold James Harden's jock. So now all of a sudden, what's the point in Steven Silas benching a guy for 2 minutes when Rafael Stone's just going to take him to the side and sit there and put his arm around him and say, hey, it's all right, Kevin Porter Jr. We'll give you $21 million anyways. Let's go, buddy. Like, it's Rafael Stone's fault. And Steven Silas is the fall guy. Period, point blank, end of story. Go talk to some of your guys behind the scenes and go try to get them to apologize. This is a Rafael Stone thing. He is a poor man's, homeless man's Daryl Morey.
Let me give the other side to this.
You know it's true, Spo.
Let me give you the other side to this,
I know you can't say it because you got to go there, but like...
No.
He is a homeless man's Daryl Morey, and he is an enabler, and Steven Silas is having to fall on the sword because your ass is letting Christian Wood, Kevin Porter Jr., and guys that can't hold James Harden's jock act like James Harden. And the funny thing is, now they're so damn loose-lipped, they're going around acting like James Harden's going to come here next year and save the day. James Harden on the back end, who forced his way out, is going to come here and save the day. And I'm fine with it. But it's just kind of hilarious that that's going to be the thing because they've told so many people now that Woj knows it, all the NBA people know it. It's a joke. And I feel bad. The reason I'm so upset about it is because I don't like the way Steven Silas is getting treated. He's getting treated like he's David Culley and Lovie Smith. If Steven Silas hadn't taken this job, Steven Silas would have gotten a job somewhere else. Instead, he had to come here. James Harden wants out because he tells you what to do and does everything. And then they leave, and guys who can't even hold his jock are allowed to act like James Harden. It's stupid. I feel bad for Steven Silas. I hope he gets another chance.
Let me give the other side of that before you jump in, because I do agree that Rafael Stone is not without fault here. Okay, I think they should clean house. I think Rafael Stone is legitimately at fault here for all the reasons that Landry just laid out. But you've got a guy that's in charge of 82 games. He's not a fall guy. He's awful. He's a bad head coach in the NBA. I'm not saying he's without talent. He is bad. So yes, Rafael Stone, everything that Landry said. But Steven Silas is not a fall guy. He's bad.
I agree with what Landry said.
Yeah?
I'm not going to go as far on the Rafael stuff as he did, but Steven Silas has been put in a position to fail. That being said, he can still do some things to hold players accountable, and he hasn't. Now, I don't know if he's done I don't think that anyone could do a good job with this team. I just don't think that there is a possibility with the way that the roster is constructed with as young as it is. I don't think anyone could have done a good job with this group, especially with some of the habits that have been allowed to form with some of the front office stuff. But Stephen Silas has been put in an impossible position. I don't know if he could have made it better, but it's one of those things where, and this is Stephen Silas's coaching. He is being who he is. He is a good guy. He's a prepared guy. He's a nice guy. But sometimes the nice guy thing, that's what gets you in trouble.
Yes.
And I do think that that's what has hurt him throughout this process, is that he hasn't put his foot down when he probably could have. And if it gets him in trouble with the front office, it gets him in trouble with the front office. But you have to sometimes just put your foot down. And he hasn't done that.
But you look at this team, and yes, it's young.
It's not good. It's not.
But you're sacrificing player development, which is what you're supposed to do with these young players. Develop them for Rafael Stone's whims and tanking for the number 1 pick or a top pick. That's on Stephen Silas, man. I mean,
no, he's got to go.
Grow a backbone.
But he came into a bad situation.
Well, yeah,
he came in
for sure, and I agree with you, Rafael Stone.
No. Stylus has got to go.
Yeah,
he's defeated. He's broken. He hasn't been allowed to do anything.
Right.
But let's let Christian Wood and let Porter act like they're James Harden. You got to realize, and also as far as using the media and stuff, Daryl Morey had a little more skins on the wall. Like
he was better at it.
Yeah, in trying to maneuver it and stuff like that. Like he's trying to be Daryl. Honestly, Rafael Stone, I'll just say this. This is what I think of Rafael Stone right now. Hopefully it changes. I think Rafael Stone is to Daryl Morey as Bill O'Brien is to Bill Belichick.
I wouldn't disagree with that too much.
That's a loaded one. I think Rafael's done okay. I think that in terms of accumulating talent, which has basically been his job since they traded James Harden, I think he's done okay. You know, they've gotten obviously lucky in the lottery. I think that they've done a good job with their mid-round picks, getting Alperen Şengün where they got him for, they traded a couple of heavily protected first-round picks to get him. Tari Eason at 17 was a good pick. We'll see.
But they're learning bad habits.
That's my point.
In the NBA, it's hard. Like once you develop these type of habits, like this isn't like NFL, even NFL player progression. It's not even like baseball player progression. Like in the NBA, like once you develop habits
that's
like
exactly
this,
my point.
You know this better than me. You covered it forever. It's very hard to eliminate that. And that's I think what John Wall was saying that I think was the truest thing that he said.
Yeah, that is 100%. And there's a difference between minutes and good minutes. And right now, these guys are just playing minutes, but they aren't good minutes. And I've watched Jalen Green all season. To me, Jalen Green has gotten worse from the start of the season. And that's been, the body language is a lot worse. The defense is worse. The effort is worse. The numbers across the board are worse. Yeah. And that's the biggest problem right now, is that you have this guy who's supposed to be the centerpiece of your franchise moving forward, and he's not getting better, and he's regressing, and he's not, maybe it's the sophomore slump thing. Maybe the losing is certainly getting to him. He said the losing has gotten to him, but he's responsible for a lot of that because he has not played at a high enough level. He has not played with enough effort to win NBA games right now.
This is all you need to know about the Rockets. I've seen AAU teams play better together and defense and getting back on defense.
I think they need to hire Ime Udoka. And I know that. I mean, I just really think so. Well, they should. They should. I mean, at this point, you might as well.
But look at what they've dealt with now. This is now the 2023 is less than 3 weeks old. You have Austin Rivers calling them out for they basically need to get somebody with Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green to teach them how to play. You have David Thorpe on a podcast saying that a prominent agent told him the Rockets are a clown show. Then you have what John Wall said on that podcast whenever they recorded that. That's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And people are just going at the organization like that. And then December 31st, you have Eric Gordon saying in their own locker room, there's no improvement right now. This has been, the last month has been an unmitigated disaster for this organization.